The Adidas Adios Pro has become a fan favorite over the years, and I think V4 might be one of the biggest changes yet, thanks to its new Lightstrike Pro formula update. But is it the best Adios Pro of them all? I'm ready to give you my review after about 50 miles, as well as compare it to the Adios Pro Evo 1 and other top tier racing shoes. Just a quick disclaimer that I am a Team Running Warehouse ambassador, and they sent me these shoes, but all my thoughts and opinions are my own. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the review, starting with the upper. The race-ready microfit material in the upper is really comfortable and has a nice amount of stretch to it. It isn't necessarily the most breathable, but it also doesn't overheat the foot. There's a little bit of padding around the ankle, and I honestly would have enjoyed the upper a lot more if it weren't for the ankle collar. Where the pull tab is located by the Achilles gave me really bad bloody blisters. Luckily, I was able to fix this for the most part by not using the extra eyelet and wearing blister resistant socks. As far as sizing goes, I'd say it fits a tad short. I went with my normal size 12, and it was a little short in the toe, and especially after wearing my thicker blister resistant socks, that those filled up even more room, and I felt like I could probably go up half a size. So overall, I was a big fan of the upper. From the tongue forward, I just had too many issues with this Achilles tab and this little area back here. All right, now let's talk about this midsole. So this is where the Pro 4 makes its biggest leap forward. The new Lightstrike Pro foam formula definitely feels even more energetic and bouncy than the previous versions. The stack height is 39 millimeters in the heel, 33 in the forefoot with a 6 millimeter heel to toe drop. And there's still that full length carbon infused energy rods sandwiched in the midsole that helps give the shoe that snappy and propulsive feel that you would expect. What's most impressive though is how smooth and effortlessly fast it feels. The transition through toe off is seamless, and it never feels like you're working hard when you're hitting those fast efforts. I will say though that the heel can feel a tad unstable at times, especially when cornering, but I think that's also partially due to the fact that I can't tighten up the upper as much without the risk of blisters. For me, this version definitely feels a lot more bouncy and fun compared to V3, but it still has that nice snappiness you'd expect. All right, now let's move on to this outsole. The outsole is almost fully covered in their new compound light traction, with a strip of Continental rubber under the big toe. All of the rubber does contribute to a bit of weight though. The Adios Pro 4 comes in at 7.1 ounces. That being said though, it's still lighter than V3 and on par with a lot of other racers. I was a bit skeptical of light traction, but I found that it actually gripped really well. Drive pavement, wet roads, even light gravel were no problems at all. Durability wise has also been really impressive. After several workouts and long runs, there's barely any visible wear. All right, now let's move on to the race type stop plate portion of the review. Starting with 5K, 10K race distances, I give this a yellow light. While it does have that nice aggressive rocker in the forefoot that helps you through your stride, I do think that for those distances, for me personally and my preferences, that there's a little too much cushioning underfoot and a little bit too soft as well. If this is your only super shoe and you tend to race distances that are just 5K and 10K, then you might want to look at getting something like the Takumi Sen that's a little less cushioned, a little faster feeling, a little snappier. But if you only have one shoe and you're doing marathon and 10Ks and 5Ks here and there, I think this is a good one that can kind of do it all. Moving on to half marathon, I give this a green light. It's aggressive, but not too aggressive. It has plenty of cushion underfoot. It's soft and bouncy, energetic, keeps you nice and protected, but also helps you through your stride, gets you up on your toes, keeps you going fast through the whole race. Definitely would recommend for that distance. Moving on to a full marathon, I give this a green light as well, with one exception, and that is this heel collar. If you didn't have any issues with it, then definitely go ahead and race a full marathon in it. But if you have been getting blisters from it and blister socks or something like that don't help, I wouldn't recommend taking it that full distance unless you want to deal with a very bloody, messed up heel. Other than that though, all the same stuff about the half marathon applies here, where it's super bouncy and fun, yet still has that snap to it. and is definitely a good race day option. All right, now let's go ahead and do a few quick comparisons. The first shoe I'm gonna compare it to is the Adios Pro Evo 1, and these two shoes may look pretty similar, but they definitely feel quite different. Starting off, the Pro Evo 1 is twice the price. It's $500 compared to the $250 of the Pro 4. And I honestly don't know if it's double the shoe that it's worth double the price, but it is quite noticeably lighter. This shoe is crazy light. The upper is it's almost lace-like how minimal and thin it is, and it still feels very snappy and fast. I do think it feels a little firmer and more responsive than the Pro 4 though. I think that new Light Strike formula here is a little softer, maybe a little bouncier as well. The sizing though, I thought that this one fit a little tight. This one fits even tighter. My toe was right at the end, and I would probably recommend going up a full size in the Pro Evo 1. Overall, I think the vast majority of people will be just fine in the regular Adios Pro 4, but if you're somebody who's trying to get Olympic qualifying time, get a big PR, have extra money to burn, then you could go for the Pro Evo, but again, that price is pretty crazy. Next up is the Vaporfly 4 from Nike. So I'd say the Vaporfly and the Adios Pro have been always two of my favorite marathon racing shoes, and this year I think from the 3 to the 4 in the Vaporfly wasn't my favorite change in terms of midsole, while it is quite the opposite from the Adios Pro 3 to the 4 in the Adios Pro, where I really like the changes here. With the Vaporfly, they actually lowered the stack, and then I thought that the midsole felt a little firmer and less bouncy. So if you're somebody that doesn't need all the cushion and wants something that's a little firmer, a little snappier, then you might like the Vaporfly better. But if you're somebody who likes that extra cushioning, that softness underfoot, that protection, then you probably go with the Adios Pro 4. With the exception though of that upper, if you've had issues in past with Achilles like this, you might want to go for the upper on the Vaporfly 4, which I didn't have issues with. Finally is the Fast R3 from Puma. This shoe definitely is not traditional. It has that crazy extended midsole and plate from the toe, and that feel is really hard to replicate. It almost like it extends your big toe and gives you a really nice snappy toe off, kind of extends your kick back and makes you run really efficient. The heel though does have a pretty intense bevel. It's a pretty unique geometry of the shoe where it might not work for everyone. For me personally, I like this shoe for half marathon and below. For those longer races, when I start landing further back on my heel, it becomes a little wobbly. I don't feel like the shoe's as efficient. While with the Adios Pro 4, I feel like no matter the pace, I feel pretty comfortable in the shoe, and I do like that squish a little more when I'm doing a full marathon, while this one's a little firmer, a little snappier. It does still have a nice bounce to it though. So the Adios Pro 4 is definitely my favorite iteration of the shoe since the original. The new formula of Light Strike Pro is very bouncy and fun, but that aggressive forefoot rocker and the energy rods in there still give you that snappy responsiveness where it still feels fast and race ready. I liked the new material of the upper, but that heel collar definitely gave me issues with those blisters. And if you don't have the proper fit or the proper socks with the shoe, it could definitely ruin your race. You definitely have to watch out for that. It definitely has been holding up a lot better though than a lot of other super shoes I've run in, where I feel like they shred down pretty quickly. This one's been quite durable, which I'm very happy with. So I want to hear from you. Have you tried the Adios Pro 4? What are your thoughts? Do you like the kind of softer midsole? Do you miss the older, a little bit firmer Light Strike Pro formula? What do you think about the Achilles collar? Have you had any issues with that? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep on running.